Good morning, everybody. I am Steve Clemens, Vice President of Life Markets here at URL Insurance Group. I'm joined with me by Matt Alina, our sales rep at URL for the final expense market. And we're excited to present to you our 2017 final expense lead program and information on our final expense products and services here at URL. Before we get started today, I wanted to make you aware, if you do have any questions, you can certainly type them in the question box on your toolbar on the right-hand side of your screen. You can certainly raise your hand. We can unmute your phone at the end of the presentation. And then lastly, at the end of the presentation, there will be a short 5-question poll. I'd appreciate if you take the 30 seconds to complete that. That would be very helpful to us at URL. And then lastly, at the end of the presentation, I also want to let you know we have handouts within the toolbar for some of the things we're going to be covering today. And as we go through that, I will make note of that, that you have availability to that. So without further ado, I just wanted to get started here, and we'll take a few minutes to give you some more information on our final expense lead program. Before I do that, for those unfamiliar with URL Insurance Group, we've been in the insurance brokerage community for over 30 years. We're based in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. We're a small but mighty group of about 40 people here at URL to help service your business from not only final expense life insurance, but traditional life insurance markets, annuity, Medicare, group benefits, health insurance, DI/CI, long-term care, employee benefits, and more. So we're a full-service brokerage, a one-stop shop for you and your clients' needs. So what are we going to cover today? We're going to cover our competitive advantage at URL, our product offerings in final expense, our lead program for final expense, marketing tools that are available, our Gemini partner program and why that makes sense in the final expense market, and some conventions as well. So why URL? What is our competitive advantage in the marketplace? Well, we believe we have a blueprint for success in the final expense area. Whether you're purchasing leads to build your final expense book of business, or you tap into your existing book, or utilize other proven sales strategies URL offers, we have the carriers, the products, and the marketing solutions to be successful in the senior market. Here is a snapshot of a couple of our partner carriers here in the final expense market. As you can see, whether you're familiar with the companies or not, Matt, myself, Joe Fry in our life department, we're all very knowledgeable on these products and where they're competitive, with what underwriting niches, and we'll help you as you have those cases and what companies would best fit you and the market you're working in. Here's a snapshot of the final expense carriers, and what we looked at here are their issue ages, the products that are available, and we gave you a sample rate on a 65-year-old female at $10,000 for whatever products they have, whether it's a level, graded, or modified plan. And then lastly, some folks are in try to do this business over the phone via e-app or tele-apps, and we wanted to let you know what's available there as well, which carriers allow you to do business in that capacity. And looking at the group here, you'll notice that most of the carriers are very close in price. So really what it comes down to is the type of application you like to complete. Do you like to do a mandatory phone interview at point of sale? Do you not like to do that? Do you need an e-app, or do you like paper app? Do you need a guarantee issue coverage? We have those available as well. So we have a full list of products, and this is just a snapshot of some of our core companies here and what the premiums would be. So when you're working with URL, we're going to be here to lend a hand and support when you're with a client. And if you need some help on a quote or an underwriting piece, but also after hours, if you need some assistance and you need some underwriting information, we have website tools that are going to help you with that. So quite simply, when you go to our website, which is url-insurance.com, insgroup.com. Under the department heading, you'll see a drop-down menu. So you would hover over departments, go down to life, and then over to product information. When you do that, we'll have a full line of our products, not only our final expense, but term and UL and whole life and index UL. And at the bottom of that product information page, you'll see the final expense carrier area. You can simply click to get a final expense quote on the quote engine. We have marketing materials for all different markets that you can link to there. But you can also link to the individual company pages from here. And when you do that, you'll have each individual company. So we have a snapshot of the Foresters page and the Liberty Bankers page here. So what you'll see here on the Foresters page is their 2018 sales convention. You can get information on that to Jackson Hole, Wyoming, and what qualifies you for that trip. The rate book for the final expense product is here. The build charts, any plan variations by state are listed here. The state approvals by state, a sample application so you can see what questions are asked on that application. The agent guide, the medical reference guide covers all the prescription drugs. So when you're with your client, you can review the prescription drug guide to make sure your client qualifies for level, graded, or modified coverage. There's a consumer presentation. For those in Pennsylvania, like we are, there's the rate table for the Pennsylvania disclosure form. For those doing voice signature in the states where that's available, you can have these useful links to get that information as well. And same type of information with Liberty Bankers or our other partner companies will be there. So we do want to make it very easy and accessible for you to get that information when we're not open. So you have availability at your fingertips to each of these carriers that we represent here at URL in one central location. Instead of going to website to website to website to get information, you have it all in one central place. At URL in the final expense market, you're going to find competitive compensation. Your commissions are vested day one. So what that means is vested commissions essentially mean if you work with URL and then some year you're not working with URL anymore, your renewal commissions travel with you. They're your renewals, they're your clients, so you get those. Some FMOs, IMO groups don't offer that. So when you would leave, they own the renewal business. They own those commissions. So we do offer vested commissions day one for our independent agents and agencies working with URL Insurance Group. We also offer 6- and 9-month advances for qualified agents. It truly depends on the carrier, what their advance rules are. Some companies have a maximum of 6 months, some 9 months, and some agents prefer doing a 6-month versus a 9-month advance to help combat any chargebacks or anything like that. So that's your choice when you come on board, what type of advance, if any, you want to use. And then obviously leads that we're going to talk about here in just a moment, our lead program for final expense. So with our lead program, we have broken the final expense lead program for 2017 into 2 categories. We've broken it into a free lead program and a subsidized lead program. We understand that some agents prefer a free lead program, some prefer the subsidized program, so we have both options to offer. On the free lead program, quite simply, to qualify for the free lead program where we're going to be purchasing leads on a monthly basis for you, we are going to require proof of final expense production at time of appointment. So if you're going to go into our final expense lead program on the free side, we would require proof of final expense production to qualify for that program. We want to see a minimum of $5,000 of monthly paid annualized premium each month to receive the free leads. We're going to purchase 25 free leads monthly in this plan, you will have a defined lead territory. So you will have a defined area, your county or counties that you want to work, and those will be exclusive to you. So we will never put more agents in a certain territory than we can supply leads. Because we're providing exclusive leads to you, we're not giving a shared lead to any agent. So the lead you get is your lead and will go into your lead system. And with the free lead program, depending on the carrier, the first year commissions are going to range between 70 and 80% commissions on the free lead program, plus renewals and vested commissions day one. Now, our subsidized lead program works a little differently. Our subsidized lead program we're going to track your production. Matt will give you, in our office, Matt Alina is going to give you a monthly report of your lead credits. So we're going to look at the end of each month, the final expense production you've done, and we're going to provide a lead credit for that given month. So if you're a Gemini agent, which we'll talk about later in this presentation, you earn $80 for every $1,000 of annualized paid premium you give URL. And if you're a non-Gemini agent, you earn a $50 lead subsidy credit for every $1,000 of paid production you give URL. So very simply, if you did $6,000 of annualized paid premium in the month of January in final expense with URL, in the Gemini, as a Gemini agent, you would get a $480 lead credit. As a non-Gemini agent, you would get a $300 lead credit. Moving on with the subsidized lead program, again, leads are exclusive. They're never shared. You have that same defined lead territory as you would have in the free program. We do not require proof of production to go into the subsidized lead program because obviously you're putting skin in the game by buying leads, and we're putting skin in the game by reimbursing you for the production you do. So no production minimums, no proof of production to qualify for our subsidized program, and commissions are higher. Commissions are going to range from 100% on the low end of a level death benefit to 120% on the high end, again, depending on the carrier and product of choice. You also have renewal commissions and vested commissions day one. So the leads. We offer basically two types of leads in final expense, direct mail and telemarketed. The direct mail leads, we're not doing a per 1,000 piece mailer. So what we're not doing is asking you to buy a per 1,000 piece mailer and you get what you get on that return. For those of you who've done that in the past, you know you could get 15 leads per 1,000 pieces mailed. You could get 10 leads per 1,000 pieces mailed. You could get 5 leads per 1,000 pieces mailed. It's really a crapshoot. So what that means is you might have a cost of, on one mailer, of around $28 a lead. You may have a lead cost on the next mailer you do of $45 a lead if you only get 10 leads back. So we've eliminated that crapshoot, and we've put a cost of $28 per direct mail lead. For the lead program, there's a 15 lead minimum order monthly. We distribute those direct mail leads through our lead management system. So you would have your own unique username and password to log on to our lead management system website to get your leads and manage your leads. We do ask for a 90-day commitment in the lead program with a 30-day notice to exit the lead program in direct mail. Because we're mailing ahead of time for you and keeping that lead flow going so you consistently get the amount of leads you want. If you want 15 a month, if you want 20, 30, 40, 50, whatever the number is, we'll make sure that you get those on a monthly basis. The telemarketed leads, they're obviously going to be a less cost per lead. You're going to range between $12 and $17 a lead depending on the lead quantity you order. There's a 20 lead minimum order for our lead program monthly, just like the direct mail. And that's distributed through our telemarketing lead partner. And again, we have that 90-day commitment for the lead program and a 30-day notice to exit. And I do want to make a point in regards to the direct mail leads that, again, these are not old leads. These are fresh leads. So we never pass a fresh lead, a B lead as a fresh lead. So we're not giving you leads that have been worked 30, 60, 90 days ago. They're all fresh. They're all freshly mailed. So they're people who just completed the information in one information. Telemarketed, again, a little less cost per lead. So, you know, they're being telemarketed, so it's a different type of lead generation. The average turnaround for a direct mail order is about 3 weeks. The average turnaround on telemarketed leads are a couple days. So some people do a combination of telemarketed and direct mail leads when they're ordering leads. So some of you may have questions on, you know, if I'm interested, if I'm looking at a free lead program versus subsidized lead program, and what the difference is in compensation and out-of-pocket costs and everything else. So what we're looking at is a $6,000 annualized premium example. So place $6,000 of annualized premium in the month, and we're assuming that you're ordering 25 leads monthly. So in the free lead program, if you notice, $6,000 of annualized premium is obviously on a monthly basis, where most of the cases are being paid monthly, is $500 a monthly premium. Take that times the 9-month advance. That's $4,500 of premium. At an 80% commission on the free lead program would be $3,600 in commission for the month, plus your 25 free leads. In our subsidized lead program, that's going to equate to $4,950 in commission, just shy of $5,000, because that's $500 a monthly premium times the same 9-month advance is $4,500 at an average commission of 110%. So that's where you get the $4,950. Now I should note there's always a lot of questions. Well, what happens in the 10th, 11th, and 12th month? Well, you get those commissioned on an as-earned basis. So as the client pays their premiums in month 10, in month 11, in month 12, you get those as-earned commissions at the same commission percentage of 110 or 80%. Starting in the 13th month going into the second year, then you get your renewal commissions from there on that case. All right, so moving on. So the subsidized, the commission would be $4,950. But again, there's some out-of-pocket costs. So for 25 direct mail lead order, that's a $700 cost for the leads. Now, our lead subsidy, since you did $6,000 of annualized premium, if you're a non-Gemini agent, you're earning $50 per 1,000. So that would give you a $300 lead subsidy. Now, if you're a Gemini agent, that gives you a $480 lead subsidy. So the out-of-pocket cost for the leads in the subsidized program, depending on if you're Gemini or non-Gemini, are going to range from $400 to $220. So your cost per lead is going to range, depending on which program you're in, between $16 and $18.80 per lead. And if you do your total compensation after the lead order, non-Gemini, you're at $4,550, and in the Gemini program, you're at $4,730. So essentially, in a subsidized lead program, you're earning just about $1,000 to $1,100 more on an average month. So I've talked quite a bit about our Gemini partnership program, and you probably, for those of you who aren't in it now or are unfamiliar with it, are probably asking, what is the Gemini partnership program? So Gemini partnership, we call it an elite level partnership, and we have a guarantee with that. So essentially in Gemini, you're giving URL a commitment. If you write a certain product that URL offers, whether it be in final expense, whether it be in Medicare, annuities, traditional life insurance, you would essentially, by going into Gemini, you would be transferring that contract to URL. So that's what we call an elite level partnership. essentially, if we offer that carrier, you're saying I'll write it with URL. Now, if you write companies outside of URL, that's fine. We're not asking for captive agents here. You're independent agents. But in the Gemini program, if we offer that carrier, you would write it with us. So part of that elite level partnership and that level of commitment you're giving URL, we want to give additional bonuses and benefits in return. Part of that is our Gemini Guarantee. So we're never going to ask you to transfer a contract to go on a lesser compensation package. So our Gemini Guarantee will say we will match, if we cannot exceed, we'll at least match the compensation that you have elsewhere to go into our Gemini program. If we cannot match or exceed that contract, we will rider that out of the Gemini program. You can continue to write that with your other IMO, FMO, upline, what have you. So essentially, again, Gemini is a partnering program designed to benefit and reward independent agents and agencies by giving URL more of your production. By doing that, we're going to have better compensation and benefit packages for you. So essentially, if you write business with an insurance company we represent, you ask you place that with us. If there's a need to place business with a company we don't represent, there's no expectation that you place that business with the URL. You can continue to do business with those other carriers. What you get with our Gemini program is we have exclusive quarterly bonuses. For health producers, we have a group health bonus pool, which is really lucrative. Obviously, access to our website and other technologies. We have exclusive lead programs like we're talking about today. We have free E&O coverage for our Gemini partner agents. We have Gemini Retreats and jaunts throughout the year, which we'll touch on as well. And we'll do an annual review of business. And for those who have some charities that are close to heart, we also do a charitable match. So if you're giving to a local charity that's very important to you, we do a charitable match for our Gemini partner agents. So our Gemini Retreat is coming up this May. So anyone who's in Gemini or goes into Gemini and is consistently writing business with the URL, you'll get an invitation to our Gemini Retreat at the Salamander Resort and Spa in Middleburg, Virginia. That's outside of DC, just a little bit out in horse country in Virginia. Beautiful resort and spa with a great golf course, equestrian center, culinary center, and a lot to do. It'll be a fun couple days of learning and fellowship and fun. Some of our carrier conventions in the final expense market, as you'll see here, Americo has a trip going to Maui. Assurity has their Ireland trip. They haven't announced their 2018 trip yet. Foresters is Jackson Hole, Wyoming with $80,000 in annualized premium. Liberty Bankers has not announced their 2018 trip yet, but they're at $65,000 in production. Occidental's at $75,000. They're going to Whistler, British Columbia. Transamerica's going to Kauai. They asked for $140,000, but that's from July 2016 through the end of this year. United Home Life is going to Maui this year for $60,000 in production, and their trip for 2018 has not been announced yet, but they start their convention period generally February 1st of each year and runs through the end of the following January. So their production hasn't started for their next trip, and that's only $60,000. United of Omaha is going to Laguna Beach, for $70,000 of production, and they have not announced their next trip yet. When you get started with the URL, we're going to provide onboarding support. So if you need supplies, product and underwriting training, lead ordering, marketing support, and more, Matt's going to be the first point of reference to do that. If you haven't been on our website, again, it's URL, insgroup.com. You can do some online licensing there if that's something of interest to you. You would, again, go under the department heading, drop-down menu to licensing and contracting to start contracting with URL. When you're on that page, you'll click on the Flash Contracting Packet, and that will provide you online contracting. We also have paper contracting available, and it's one of the handouts on this presentation today. If you have any questions, you can contact Tish, our Director of Licensing, with any questions on contracting. And lastly, I wanted to share with you our life marketing team. So if you have any questions, your first people to contact on the final expense program will be Matt and myself, so Matt and Steve. Any sales support, please reach out to Joey, Matt, or myself as well. And when you put in business with URL, Rosemary and Rachel are your case managers. Rosemary's been with the company over 18 years, and Rachel's been here over 10 years. So they're both very good at what they do in case management. And in licensing, I mentioned Tish. Also, I mentioned Judy Warner. Judy's out today, but Judy's been with the company over 30 years, and she is our licensing person in the life department. So our phone number's up there, our website, our emails, our extensions. Lastly, I wanted to mention there's handouts on the toolbar. So on the toolbar, we have a one-page snapshot of our final expense lead program, which is a PDF file. You can click on that and print that out. We also, if you wanted more details on our Gemini program, we have a Gemini program PDF attached to the presentation. That will give you more details on the program and our first quarter 2017 bonuses by department. So obviously I touched on the Gemini lead bonus, but we also, if you're doing term or UL or traditional whole life, we have an app bonus for Gemini agents, and that ranges from $50 per app to $200 per app you submit and place with URL in the first quarter. So that's a very lucrative bonus as well. And there's a Gemini application and a licensing packet also attached to the presentation today. So with that, I'm going to close the presentation, and I'll open it to any questions that anybody may have. And for anybody leaving the presentation, please don't forget to answer those short 5 survey questions. It shouldn't take you more than 30 to 60 seconds to do so, and I'd appreciate that greatly. But in the meantime, if anyone has any questions, I'll take that now. And for anyone else, you can reach out to Matt or myself with any follow-up questions. And thank you for joining us today for the presentation.